The Election and the Dark Dynasty, written and performed by Tony Capobianco. Every election we are told, "This is the most important election ever. This election night will change things forever." They were right. Nothing will ever be the same after that fateful Tuesday night. I think that I am now destined to live in darkness. Walking home from my 5 o'clock political science class, my mind raced. The wind was gusty and the sun had set. I thought about many things. I wondered whether a red wave was really about to sweep the country, and what a massive Republican win would mean for the future of the United States. As interested as I was in the political possibilities that could soon unfold, the truth was that I was even more interested in grabbing a bite to eat. Tired and hungry, I couldn't wait to eat and go back to the apartment to relax and watch the election coverage. After I stopped in the dining hall on campus and gorged myself, I returned to our apartment building. When the elevator stopped on the 8th floor, I got out and walked to our apartment. The smell of bud and cigarette smoke wafted up from the bottom of the door. As I unlocked the door, the music of the Beatles mixed with the sound of the election coverage on TV. My roommate, Justin, apparently started the election party while I was in class. "There he is! Hey, y'all! My roomie is back! Give Tommy some love!" said Justin as he took a shot of rum. "Welcome to Toasty Tuesday, Tommy!" the room full of revelers yelled. The expression on my face must have betrayed the annoyance that I had intended to conceal. "Take a seat, buddy, and have an audience with Lord Morpheus," said Justin as he handed me a lighter and a tobacco water pipe. Morpheus was the name that we had given to the giant smoke water pipe whose base was shaped as a tiger's head. I don't know. I just wanted to relax, have a few drinks, and watch the election coverage," I replied. "Bro, I'm basically a doctor. Take your medicine. This will chill you out. Just enjoy the night," Justin responded as he poured some cola into a glass of rum. A gorgeous dark-haired girl with pale blue eyes sat down and squeezed herself between Justin and I, snatched up Morpheus, and said, "I need some medicine too. Sweet dreams are inhaled from these." After she inhaled her medicine, a cloud of smoke billowed out from her mouth as she looked into my eyes and passed the medicine over to me. Her icy hot blue eyes seemed to pierce into my soul. Without thinking, I took the water tobacco pipe into my hand, the pretty stranger lit it, and I inhaled deeply. It was as though I had been compelled to take a hit from Morpheus. My eyes instantly felt dry and my body melded to the couch and to the strange girl that sat beside me. Morpheus had indeed worked his magic and relaxed me. Including Justin and I, there were 7 people in our home. Of the 5 visitors, I only recognized 2, Bill and Sarah. The 3 additional girls were unknown to me. While all 3 ladies were attractive, it was the dark-haired beauty next to me that captured my attention. She looked as though she had jumped out of a magazine. I didn't know her, and I wanted to change that fact. The news anchor declared that the Democratic challenger had just been projected as the winner of a highly contested Senate race in Pennsylvania. The room erupted in applause. Bill's girlfriend Sarah and I booed, as we were the only conservatives there. The beautiful stranger next to me asked, "You're a conservative?" "Guilty as charged," I answered as I turned my head away from the TV to face her. "But why? Ever since the previous Republican president refused to admit that he lost the last election, their party has gone insane," replied the pretty stranger as her eyes grew wide. "Well, yeah. I'm not into the conspiracy nonsense, but I believe that the conservative ideology and platform are leaps and bounds more sane than that of their liberal rivals, I responded as I shrugged my shoulders. So you think that conservatives are more sane than progressives on ideology and issues? Do you think that the Republican Party has a compassionate and reasonable position on LGBTQ plus issues? The beautiful stranger asked as she waved her left hand. More or less, yeah, I answered. Man, we have a lot to discuss. I could use a drink, she said as she pushed her long black hair away from her eyes. What would you like? We have beer, wine, and rum, I asked as I rose to my feet. If you have some red wine, I'd appreciate that, she answered. After I poured us both some wine, we continued our conversation. The beautiful stranger said, Republicans habitually simplify complex realities into binary categories. They often boil things down as if virtually all issues are black and white, cut and dry. Some things are binary. Gender is one such thing. I can't change my chromosomes any more than I can turn into a bat. This wasn't a controversial position until recently, I responded as I took a sip of my wine. She gave half a smile and replied, I'm sure you've heard girls categorized as tomboys, girly girls, or a mix of both. I'm equally sure that you've heard guys labeled as alpha males, beta males, girly men, or macho men. Those are outdated labels given to different categories within a gender. Gender deals with roles within constructs created and established by societies. Far from being binary, it is very nuanced. I exhaled sharply and said, I've never thought of it like that before. That's very interesting. You've given me something to think about. I'm still hoping that there will be a red wave tonight, though. The beautiful stranger placed her right hand on my left leg and said, We'll have to work on that, but you might get your red wave after all. The news anchor announced that a Republican, who was well known for following conspiracy theories, was projected to have won her re-election to the House of Representatives. I remained silent while nearly everyone else booed. Justin snapped his fingers in front of my face and said, Earth to Tom, are you with us? I've been asking you a question for a couple of minutes, and you seem to be lost in another world. Oh, sorry. We were just having a conversation. What's up? The Village Fool is having a special on pitchers of beer, and they've got the election coverage on. Do you all want to come with us? Asked Justin as he put on a long-sleeve shirt. Nah, not tonight, man. It's been a long day, and I have my English Lit class in the morning. I'd rather have another drink here, watch the election news, and relax. Maybe I'll go outside for a bit and check out the blood moon later, I answered as I stretched my shoulder. The beautiful stranger gently poked my arm and asked, Do you mind if I hang out here with you for a while? I pulled out a cigarette, lit it, and replied, Not as long as you don't mind my smoking and changing the music. The beautiful stranger took out a cigarette and replied, That depends on what kind of music you put on. I told Siri to play The Doors. Break On Through began to play. The Doors? Oh, kick ass! They're one of my all-time favorite bands. Jim Morrison is a legend. Their music has an eternal sound to it, said the beautiful stranger as she took a drag from her cigarette. Everyone else left. It was just me and my mysterious new friend. I exhaled a big puff of smoke as I held a cigarette in my right hand and asked, Who are you? What is your name? The beautiful stranger danced to the ethereal sound of the Doors and said, I'm Athena. When the slower-paced Crystal Ship began to play, Athena grabbed a bottle of wine and walked on down the hall. Tom, come here! My heart beat faster as I slowly walked on down the hallway. The door to my bedroom was open, and the soft light from my candles warmed my room. I see that you've discovered my room. With the wine bottle in her left hand and a candle in her right hand, Athena leaned over and looked at my book collection and said, "As I suspected, you're a fan of Stephen King and Anne Rice." "How did you know that I was a fan of theirs?" "You're Thomas Wolfgang, and I admire your work." "How do you know my last name?" "You admire my work." "What work are you talking about?" I asked as my voice became a little shaky. "Yeah, I know who you are, and I'm an admirer of your work. You're a great storyteller. I subscribe to the Vampire's Graveyard," Athena explained as she continued to inspect my bookshelf. "Oh, right. My YouTube channel. I didn't know that you knew about that," I replied as I took the wine bottle from her and took a big swig. "Yes, I know about your work. That's why I'm here. I wanted to meet you," she said as she straightened herself into an upright position. "I'm really flattered. I only have around 400 subscribers, so I never would have guessed that you were familiar with my work," I replied. "Your heart is racing. Relax. I won't bite without permission," Athena said with a smirk and a glimmer in her eyes. Athena pulled her crimson hoodie over her head and dropped it onto my bed. The tank top that she wore said, "Vampires do it by the look." Athena sat on my bed, pulled the ashtray closer to her as she lit another cigarette. She inhaled deeply and said, "So, is this where you do your work? Is this where the magic happens?" Sitting down next to her, I lit a cigarette and said, "Yup, this is where I write and narrate my stories. Which of my stories do you like the best?" Athena took a sip of wine and said, "Prisoner the Vampire is my favorite. I love horror, and you really brought a gruesome vampire to life in that one." I reached for the bottle of wine, took a drink, and said, "Ah, so you prefer scary vampires over the seductive, romantic vampires." Athena leaned closer to me and responded, "No, not quite. I actually find both frightening and irresistibly romantic vampires to be totally killer." As I gently placed my right hand on her left hand, I said, "I've been fascinated by vampires for as long as I can remember. There was a time when I was depressed on account of a skin condition that I suffered from. I'd go for a walk at night and call out to particular vampires from the Vampire Chronicles. I desperately longed for one of them to turn me and take my pain away. Who wouldn't long to live in a body that doesn't break down? Who wouldn't want to live where death could no longer touch you?" Athena clasped my hand and said, "I know. I completely understand. Such a thing really would be a blessing. The experience of being a vampire is something that is nearly indescribable and difficult for mortals to comprehend. The life of a vampire isn't all gothic romance, though. A vampire is destined to live in the darkness of the night. Such an undead existence can be difficult and lonely at times. Vampires have to wear a mask at all times when they venture out amongst humans. They must always keep their true nature hidden. Imagine what it would be like, for the sake of survival, to be forever required to dress in a costume and pretend to be someone or something that you're not. Perpetual method acting would be necessary in every interaction, friendship, or relationship with mortals. Some vampires lose themselves in the roles that they play, forget who they were, and go mad. The vampire is not welcome in human society. Imagine being banished into a virtual non-existence. Vampires are the ultimate outsiders. After taking another drink of wine, I replied, Wow, I've never thought about the life of a vampire in quite that way. It's not that I haven't briefly considered what it might be like for such a being to have to live on the margins, but I never really grasped the totality of it. While I can empathize with feeling different, feeling rejected, and feeling alone, I do have the refuge of my family. My family has always accepted, supported, and loved me. A vampire, on the other hand, might not have something akin to the safe sanctuary of a family. Such a tragic and profound loneliness saddens me just on the thought of it. I suspect that a vampire's life would have additional hardships. Athena took the bottle of wine from my hand, raised the mouth of the bottle to her red, luscious lips, and said, What kinds of additional difficulties do you imagine that a vampire might face living in a human's world? With my thumb, I gently caressed the space between her pointer finger and her thumb as I answered. It occurs to me that even if I feel like I'm alone on account of my skin disease, or because of some of my unpopular beliefs, all I have to do is perform a quick search on the internet to find out that I'm not alone. A search on my internet browser will undoubtedly yield a variety of articles, videos, or podcasts wherein people share their struggles with the very same thing that I'm struggling with. Yet, if I were a vampire, I would not enjoy any such support, nor would I be able to find an online community to commiserate with. How could that not add to the melancholy and the severe sense of isolation? Even as the vampire is eternal and passes through the centuries, he is divorced from human society and its progress. As an observer hidden behind a mask, the vampire is, in essence, a ghost that walks through the ocean of time, unseen and unknown. Forever is he fated to observe history, but not to be remembered by it. Forever is the vampire marching towards a future that he isn't permitted to shape. I would imagine that these paradoxes could drive any rational being to madness. Athena tightly clasped my hand, and with her other hand she gently brushed my dirty blonde hair away from my eyes. My heart beat faster as I felt the blood rush toward my face. As her gorgeous eyes opened wider, I gazed deeply into them. Quickly, I found that I had lost myself in the depths of the pale blue ocean of her eyes. I felt like I was swimming in the deepest, most mystical sea. I wanted to stay here forever. Then she leaned in towards me, closed her eyes, puckered her bow-like lips, and kissed me. I kissed her back. It was magical. This amazing, beautiful young woman had quickened my soul. As Athena gently touched my cheek with her nose, she said softly, This is why I came here. This is why I chose you. When I listened to the stories that you wrote, I knew that you had a gift. You have a very special ability to really see inside of people. Your ability to see the world through the eyes of people who see the world very differently than you is a rarity. It is especially an extraordinary gift in times such as these. You don't merely sympathize with others, but you somehow seem able to empathize with people that have experienced things that you yourself never have. Your mind is sharp, and your soul is lustrous. With my right hand, I gently moved my fingertips over her shoulder and down her arm. Her skin was perfect, although very pale and cold. As I caressed her, I said, It is you who is special. You're the most beautiful lady that I have ever laid eyes on. More than that, you are brilliant. You are mysterious in the most irresistible way. You breathed life into my soul. My heart flutters for you, and I yearn for your mind to embrace my mind. Athena, You are intoxicating. You inebriate me. Athena whispered into my ear, I have a gift for you. I want to give you my bod. I greatly desire to bestow upon you my baptism of darkness. After I breathed out deeply, I replied, Forgive me if I don't understand. Is that some kind of role-playing thing? Softly, she answered, No, the baptism of darkness is no game. It is the gateway to eternal life. I am immortal. I am a timeless vampire, and I am here to answer your prayers. Do you want to live forever? Do you want to join me and walk with me in the forever night? I pulled back and answered, Sure, if vampires were real, I might just take you up on your offer. Suddenly, she grabbed the top of my pants with her left hand and raised me high off of the bed. I was speechless. While I was 6 feet 2 inches tall and 225 pounds, she was 5 feet 5 inches tall and couldn't have weighed more than 115 pounds. Yet she had effortlessly lifted me up toward the ceiling with one hand. She opened her mouth wide, and two fangs descended from her upper jaw. My heart raced with excitement and fear. Thomas, I really am a vampire. I honestly have no intention of harming you. I won't force the baptism of darkness on you. It is a true gift that is offered to very few people. The choice is yours, handsome, said the pretty yet horrifying lady as she gently placed me back on my bed. Okay, I believe you. You really are a vampire. I can't believe that this is happening. Before I give you an answer, I'll have to ask some questions if you don't mind, I replied as I lit another cigarette while trembling slightly. Of course, ask away, said the real live vampire in my bedroom. I'm Catholic. Will I still be able to practice my faith if I become a vampire? I asked as I took a drag from my cigarette. I suppose that you could do so, with a few restrictions, of course, if you so wanted. Crucifixes don't hurt us. There is a special crucifix-like weapon that uses crystals and acts as a laser, but no one has wielded that weapon for ages. You wouldn't be able to go to the church in the daytime for obvious reasons, although I am not aware of any reason that you couldn't continue to practice your faith. I'm not convinced that you'd want to, as you learn the secrets that we possess, answered Athena as she joined me in lighting a cigarette. Would I lose my soul? Are vampires cursed? I questioned her. If I was really soulless, how could I have free will? Since my body is technically neither dead nor alive, some type of spirit must be animating it. I am much older than I look, and I can tell you that I've never seen any reason to believe that I've been damned. In fact, some of us, rather than viewing what we are as a curse, see it as a blessing. The devil does not control me. I am as free as you are in making choices. If you join the Dark Dynasty, I think that you'll come to find that being a vampire is a blessing. I'm sure that you've prayed to have your skin disease healed and taken away. Obviously, your prayers haven't been answered up to this moment. I can smell the sickness that afflicts you. I can promise you that I can take your sickness away. I can heal you and grant you perfect health. Indeed, I promise that if you enter into the baptism of darkness, that you'll never become sick by disease again. You'll never grow old, and you'll never die from aging or bad health, the mysterious vampire explained to me. That sounds great, but in my experience, there is always a catch. I mean, if something sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. Never seeing the light of the sun again and never experiencing the warmth of the daytime sounds an awful lot like being banished to dwell in darkness, I replied as I took a sip of my wine. I can see why you might think that, but I believe that it's all a matter of perspective. Maybe the light isn't the unequivocal good that most assume that it is. The rays of the sun can cause cancer. Its heat can dehydrate you. While people see the sun as the source of light, they are often blind to its dangers. The sun can cause terrible deaths. The light is often harsh, cruel, and unrelenting. It is the light that scrutinizes all imperfections. Any blemish of the skin is highlighted by the light. The light leaves no room for privacy. It offers no place to hide. The darkness, on the other hand, is comparably very merciful and meek. The darkness offers respite. It does not burn your flesh, and it will not extinguish life. While the light highlights individuals, scrutinizes differences, and forces individuals to stand out, the darkness allows us to blend into it. The dark of night envelops us in a blessed unity. The nighttime is not evil. Living under the soft glow of the moon and stars is certainly not a curse. It is, in fact, a blessing to live under the glory of the night sky, Athena explained as she smoked her cigarette. You frame things in ways that astound me. You cause me to reflect on things that I would never have questioned. This next question is crucial. Will I have to kill people in order to live? I asked as I exhaled smoke. No, it isn't necessary to kill anyone in order to feed. You will need to drink blood, and you will delight in doing so. Neither alcohol or any drug can rival the pure ecstasy of consuming warm human blood. You could feed off of animals as well, but human blood is far superior. You will learn how to compel people, and you will simply take a harmless blood withdrawal from them. Drinking from them will not even hurt them, because our fangs can inject them with a painkiller that not only numbs the area of the bite, but also offers them a euphoric feeling throughout their body, explained Athena as her eyes glimmered. What about my family? Will I be able to retain my relationship with them? I love them very much. I refuse to abandon them, I firmly said. Yes, you'll be able to continue your relationship with them. I wouldn't ask you to give up everything for me. I'm not a demanding monster. However, you will first need to learn how to manage your lust for blood and your vampiric powers. I will teach you how to be a vampire. I will teach you how to die and be born again, said Athena as she held my hand. This all sounds so crazy, but my answer is yes. You are absolutely extraordinary. I want to be what you are, and I want to walk the night with you for eternity. Athena put her cigarette to her lips, inhaled deeply, and said, So you desire, and so it shall be done. I will baptize you in darkness. I will gently sink my teeth into the flesh of your neck, and I will take your sweet blood into me until you have nearly no blood left. You will feel the euphoria of my dark bite. Then I will slash open my neck and place your innocent lips on my open wound. You will drink from me as I drank from you. As you freely offer me the life of your blood, so shall I freely offer you the life of my blood. My blood will taste more exquisite than anything that you've ever tasted before. You will be inebriated from my dark blood. Then you will die. You will briefly feel shocked and anxious, but it will pass soon. Then my vampiric blood will quicken you and raise you to your new and forever life. further explained Athena as she gently pushed me down onto my bed while gazing deeply into my eyes. Once again I swam in the pale ocean of her beautiful eyes as I breathed my last breath as a human. Athena did everything precisely as she had explained that she would. That Tuesday night of elections was truly the most important night of my life. I would never be the same again. If I live another 2,000 years, I'll never forget the night that I joined the Dark Dynasty. I look forward to my vampire life and walking under the light of the moon with the intoxicating Athena, who, with her blood, baptized me into darkness and immortality. I hope that you enjoyed your stay here at the Haunted Half Moon Inn. The Master requests that you consider supporting me and the inn by becoming a slave. A patron of mine on Patreon. The Half Moon Inn needs your support to keep the doors open. You wouldn't want the residents here to feel forgotten and abandoned, would you? Creating quality scary stories to share with you is very important to me. Running this inn of horror is a passion of mine, and I would truly appreciate your support. The world is hurting. It needs more horror. Help me to heal the world through horror. Together, with your help, we could haunt this world one home at a time. Until next time, always remember, just because you don't see them doesn't mean that they aren't there.